Okay. Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. We are back. Thank you. Thank you. We are back. It's Saturday here on the East Coast, and it is well here at Bravo with Sheila. I pray everyone is well today. Oh my goodness. I am so happy to be here one more time. One more time. I'm going to get a handle on this thing and get better with greeting you and get better with content, to try to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, whatever it is that you want to talk about. So let me just give you this. Yes, yes, it's Bravo time. It's Bravo time, and I am just so happy to be back one more time. It is Saturday and it's a good day. Here, I pray that all is well on your end. I am here like I promised. I am here. All right, now I think I have Kelly. I'm not sure if Kelly is here, but she's my fan club. She's my rooter on. When no one is here, Kelly is here. And I know that some of you have coming back to watch the replay. And thank you so much for coming and stopping by my page and checking out the content. It's important for you to really support, and that's how people get to know that I am here. And it's live today. Usually I go live during the week, but I think I might be sticking to Saturdays now. I think it might be a better fit to come on Saturdays afternoon. I'll have to see. I'll talk about that with my YouTube mentor to see what she thinks about it. If you're there, let me just say hello to all of you. Let me say hello and blessings to all of you in the comments. Let me just send a little hello out there. There you go. There you go. There you go. Blessings, blessings, blessings to all of you that are out there. And today I wanted to talk about love languages. I want to speak about love languages. I am not a love expert. I'm not an expert on the topic of love, but I know what I know. I think I've lived long enough to be able to offer some wisdom and some information and some encouragement to those of you out there who don't even know what your love language is, or do know what your love language is, or are in conflict with your mate because you have two separate love languages and you don't understand his and he don't understand yours. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the love department. And so I thought it would be a good thing to chat today about love language. It is a very important topic. It's so important to understand your strengths and your weaknesses, your needs and your wants. People just don't spend enough time sitting with themselves, learning more about themselves. We tend to, as women, not across, it's not a statement I'm saying across the board, but a lot of times we find ourselves in the same relationships, or we find ourselves compromising too much, but relationship is compromise. I'm not saying that we're not supposed to compromise, but what do you compromise, and what standards do you lower in order to just be with someone, or to have a warm body next to you? So here we are today to talk about love language. And I want to ask you a question. Are you lowering your standards? Are you lowering your standards of what you need and what you desire, of what you need and what you desire? Needs and wants are so important. You can't erase them. That's how we're wired as people, both men and women. We have needs and we have wants. And when they're not being met, some kind of way, they will be met in a negative way or a positive way. Why? Because that's what drives us on the inside, the needs and the wants. And so what have you been accepting? What have you been lowering your standards with? What have you been denying yourself of because a person doesn't give you what you need yet? I always say the word yet. Or maybe you're just a mixed match, a mismatch. You're just in the wrong space with the wrong person, right? But you have people who are in solid marriages who still don't really understand each other's love language. And it's so important to understand the love language. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. And hopefully, those of you who will see this after the fact, you will get something from it. I'm speaking to you from my counselor hat today. I am a Christian, not just a Christian counselor, but I counsel people at large. Let me not put myself in a box, right? So I am a certified professional counselor, and I have been counseling for over 30 years. And so I'm not new to the game of understanding how we're wired. I'm not new, nor am I a novice in understanding the needs and wants that people desire. I'm not a novice to understand that traumatic and trauma sometimes offsets and causes you to not understand totally who you are in your own flesh, right? And sometimes we are prisoners holding ourselves captive in the love area. We've been hurt, we've disappointed, we've been betrayed, and we just find ourselves spinning and spinning. And then we get into relationship after relationship, still never locking in, being able to communicate what it is that's important to us. So I just wanted to stop by today to chat with you just a little bit. I wanted to see if I am scrolling on Facebook. I'm not sure yet. Let's see if I can see if my Facebook is going on. That way I can kind of keep up with what's going on out there. And anyway, I just wanted to actually be here to chat with you. So yeah, I see that I am on Facebook. And if those of you who have not clicked like and shared, and please subscribe. But listen, when you subscribe, you have to hit that little bell, and you have to hit the top part of the bell. If it has a cross across the bell, that means you will not get notified when I go live. So you hit subscribe, and then that little bell, you hit that bell. I'll get something soon on my screen, so it will direct you, and hit the bell, and then hit the top bell inside that little drop down where it says personalized. And that way, when I go live, you'll be able to see me, and you'll get an alarm that I am on. And so for all of you out there in Facebook land, God bless you. And I just wanted to really talk about love language. Like I said, it's so important to know your needs and your wants, right? You have to understand how you're wired. That's one of the greatest gifts that we can give, both male and female. We need to understand how we're wired. And sometimes we get in so much trouble getting hooked up and getting involved with people who don't understand how you're wired, what your needs and wants are. And that segues into the love language. The love language. Some people say, well, I never even heard of that. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of things in life that based on where you were raised, based on your environmental impact, based on your learned behavior, that you did not get some jewels to understand the language of certain things that we need in life in order to have successful times with our partners. And so, as I was saying, there are many people who are married and they never even understand that part of the conflict might be because they don't understand each other's love language. So my question again is, are you lowering your standards to the point that you compromise and lower yourself down just to be with somebody or just to have a warm body next to you? Or are you in a marriage where you've been together so long, you've become so used to each other that you've gotten so common with each other, so complacent with each other, and the fire is not burning as it was? So I welcome you once again. Those of you that are new to my platform, my name is Sheila Ingram, and you have tuned in to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. So you know what? You know what we have to do? Get that bravo out right now. Take that right hand, that left hand, place it on your heart, your mind, your soul, wherever you need encouragement. I give you a bravo just because, because guess what? You do not need permission to get a bravo. You do not need permission to encourage yourself. We're going to be talking about love language, so I want to jump into it. And again, what are you doing to be accepted, but never pleased? What are you doing, but never pleased because you just settle? Now, listen, relationships are compromise. You have to be able to compromise in a relationship, but we'll get to that. So the love language, I want to share first. You know, there are 4 levels. I'm sure there are more out there, but 4 that I'm privy to in terms of the meaning of love, the different types of love, right? Not the way you love, but the different types of love. So let me submit to you storge, STORGE. Storage being the first one we're going to talk about. And those of you that know me, I refer to my notes, right? So I can keep myself focused and give you information. Storage is liking someone through the fondness of familiarity. Family members or people who relate in familiar ways that have otherwise found themselves bonded by chance. What are you talking about, Sheila? For an example, listen, it is the natural love and affection. Storage is the natural love and affection, like of a parent to a child. You know, the storage, it's a natural kind of love. That's the first one that I want to share with you. Storage. Then let's move to, we can say phileo. Some people say philia. It depends on where you're from or whatever. It's a Greek word. And the phileo love, I like this too, because this love is between friends. This is that friendly love, that brother sisterly love. Friends are close as siblings and strength. That strong bond that you have with your sisters and your brothers doesn't have to be biological, but you know, that girl group, that guy club, the cigar group, right? The ones you sit and chill with. The phileo love. The friendship is the strong bond existing between people who share common values, interests, and activities. Phileo. That's that brotherly love, sisterly love. Yeah, storage is the natural. Phileo, brother to sister, not bio, but just in a natural way where you have strong relationships, your bestie, your BFF, that type of relationship. Yes. And then let's move down and we go to the eros. Oh, that word is so sexy, right? The eros love. That is the sex love. That is the intimate love. That's the intimacy. Yes, yes. Being in love or loving someone as opposed to a raw sexuality of what we call it, you know, in the Venus type of situation. Being in love with someone, that eros love, that intimacy. That's the love that sometimes people get in trouble with because they jump into it too quick. They just take that leap. They bypass the friendship, the foundation, and they jump right into that. And I know for believers, there's a different standard in dating other than with people who are not believers in terms of how they date. Believers have a platform that they date to marry, right? It's not where I'll say, bounce around. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the goal, the intent is to meet someone, to date someone, and then to marry someone. Well, what happens with that? Sometimes the church will get involved, step in and start speaking and pushing and shoving, making you marry this one, pushing you to marry that one. But suppose it doesn't work out. Suppose you date someone in the church and you think that's the one. He thinks you're the one. You think he's the one, right? No. And down the road, stuff happened. But in the church's mind, and people, they're dating. They're going to be married. And when you don't marry that person, you hear chatter. And a lot of people, because of pressure, will marry a person based on the pressure of their faith. And I don't think that that's right. I don't think that that's cool, because you're causing someone to make a mistake to move, and you're pushing them, giving them scriptures. And I'm not negating, don't y'all come for me. I'm not negating the regular, not the, I don't even want to say the regulations. I'm not negating the foundational principles of a Christian marriage. I'm not doing that, but I'm a girl that keeps it real, right? I know what I'm talking about, and I understand it through trial and error. Been there, done there, wore the t-shirt. So I understand what I'm talking about when you are pressured, not just in the church. You have families who by tradition say you must be married by 22, 23. If you're in the house or you're living by yourself and you're in a corporate job or whatever, and you're 25, 26, some parents pressure their children. When are you going to get married? I need a grandkid. You're getting old. They put all these stigmas on women. When are you going to do this? And you're just working. And, no, and no. Because this is why the rate of divorce and breakup and domestic violence and all these things come into play, because people pushing and pressuring you, people, women, men, to get married. You have to seek God for yourself. You have to take your time and understand, is this person a person that complements me? Sometimes in the church, people think because we're believers that we're compatible. Well, guess what? That's just one thing on the checklist. Give me a break here. That's one thing on the checklist. Where's the compatibility? Where is the like-mindedness? Where is the common ground and what we like with each other? We cannot keep doing this because of what someone says and someone pressures you to do. Love language is so important, because when you wind up dating and eventually marrying someone, if that's your goal, then you must know yourself well enough to express to that person and communicate what your love language is. Amen. And those of you who are not believers, you have groundwork. You have things that you desire, right? Because I don't like to spiritualize everything, although the world knows that I am a believer, right? But I'm that girl that can talk to anyone, can relate to anyone, and can help anyone. I would not be an effective counselor if I had blinders on and if I was judgmental. Let me keep it moving. So you know about the eros, the love that you want, the love making, the love. I look in your eyes, you look in my eyes. We're in this fine dining restaurant, and that feeling, that thing, y'all know what I'm talking about. That thing is happening. Well, guess what? Please start at base one and become friends first. Let the foundation be strong. Don't skip from kindergarten and get to the 6th grade and you missed all those other lessons. Don't you dare do that. Enough is enough, right? All right, let me move on to the agape love. The agape love, the love of God, the love that's unconditional. All those other loves that I mentioned, they'll say, oh, I love you, but do something tonight that someone doesn't like, and tomorrow they'll walk past you like they never said they love you. That's that conditional love. That's how we flesh people. We are conditionally loving people. But when you learn to tap into God and love unconditional, right? The God kind of love, the agape love, the God kind of love. God kind of love is the love that exists regardless of changing circumstances. Did you hear me? The agape love it exists regardless of the changing of any circumstance or situation. Selfless love, not selfish, selfless love as the greatest. It's the greatest of the four. The agape love. It is specifically Christian virtue to achieve, because we say that you can't love people with the agape kind of love without God in your heart, because people will disappoint you. People will backstab you. People will betray you. People will smile in your face, and before you turn your foot, they're putting a knife in your back. People will say, I love you today, and you do something unknowingly tomorrow, and then you never hear from them again. That's that conditional love. I say all of this as a premise because we're talking about the love languages. Love languages. You must understand these principles before we even talk about the love language. Because, we have our own understanding. People say, well, describe love. Well, I'm going to let you describe love. What is love to you? What does love mean to you? The Bible says that love never fails. You could win over your worst enemy with love. Is it easy to do? No. Can you do it? Yes. How? With the help of God. Let me go. Not everyone speaks the same language when it comes to love. Now, what happens when you have a mate or you're in a relationship and neither one of you have the same type of love language? You don't know what the heck is going on. So when it comes to love, according to love languages, words of affirmation, number one, love language. Words of affirmation. What is your love language? Quality time. Number two is quality time. Number three is receiving gifts. What do you like? Some people may like receiving gifts, and that really turns them on. Some people like affirmation. Tell me how much you love me. Tell me how great I am. Acts of service. Could you stop by and get me some jewelry, please? Or could you buy me these hot shoes I seen on Fifth Avenue? Listen, whatever your love language is. And then we have what? The physical touch. That does not necessarily mean sexual touch. It means physical. Have you ever had a gentleman come and say, oh, sweetie, or how would you like, or just a tap on your shoulder, and you go, ooh, right? That just did something. Like, oh, just excuse me, miss. Oh, that just did something, right? That physical touch. But what is your specific love language? What is it that you like to do, like to receive? What is it that your mate? I just feel like giving you a bravo right now. I got to give you a bravo out there. It just came on me, and I just had to do it. Had to give you a bravo. Yes, yes, and yes. So listen, here's what I want to say to you. I want you to understand that your love language is very important. Very, very important. You must understand and know what it is. What that thing is. Now, some of you may say, oh my goodness, my husband, he is a physical touch guy. Oh my God. Let me read this to you. Someone wrote this, who was in a relationship with a person who spoke a different love language than them. She says, I know how difficult it can be, while he was more inclined to show his love through physical touch. All he wanted to do was cuddle. You know anybody like that? And quality time. All he wanted to do was be inseparable. Now, some women can't handle that. It's just too much, smothering, don't, please, enough is enough. I was more about words of affirmation. Well, she's saying now, he wanted to cuddle all the time, but she was more about words of affirmation. That was her thing. Words of affirmation and acts of service. That was her love language. His was just touch, cuddle all the time. That's a lot, right? But that's who he is and what he needed. Naturally, not above receiving gifts. So she said she would tell him how awesome and talented he was as a way to show her love. And he'd be trying to pin her down to cuddle. Now, her words of affirmation wasn't really working with this dude. He heard him, but he didn't hear him. He needed that physical touch. For the next week and a half to show me his love, he continuously wanted to cuddle. Does anyone know anybody like that? What is your love language? Now, this is a situation where these two people are in a relationship and their love language is not connecting. It's just not connecting. What do you do with that? What do you do? Number one, know that every couple does not speak the same language. Every couple does not speak the same love language. Although you may be with someone who speaks the exact same love language as you, the same can't be said for all couples. We must understand, why am I talking about love language? Because you say, oh, I want to be in love. Oh, I love you. Oh, my relationship is not working. He just doesn't understand me. He sits there with the remote. I try to touch him and he moves away. And I mean, all of these things is part of the intricate pieces of a successful relationship. Whether you're married, you're dating, you want to be married, you're looking for someone, you must know how you're wired. Number 2, establish what your love language is. The communication piece. Establish what it is that is important to you. Establish it from Jump Street. Establish it when you're chatting and that open door is there. Ask the question, do you know, what is it that you like, right? Let your focus not just be about the sexual piece. Let it be on the foundational pieces, please. Learn to compromise. Now, this is a biggie because most times people don't want to compromise about things that are important to them. But, I heard you. But when you're in a relationship, right, that means two people coming from two different places, raised in two different places, two different cultures in two different homes, you learn different things. Learn behavior. Environmental impact shapes us. It shapes us. And so sometimes we're taught not to compromise. Get what you want. Don't bend. Just get what you want. But I come to tell you that compromise is important. Now, you say, well, Sheila, what you talking about? Well, I'm not asking you to compromise everything or compromise who you really are. I'm saying compromise things so you can meet in the middle. Just compromise. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a couple I counseled. They were on their way to divorce. They came in, I gave them my awesome temperament profile that I believe everyone in the world should take because it literally shows you your weaknesses and your strengths and your needs and your wants. This is major, another big piece that we miss. And so they came in and took the profile. They said, she says, I can't take this anymore. He's just people. I come home from work. It's people in the house. And she's saying, I come home from work and I just want peace. I don't want people in my home. Well, guess what? They both needed something different, but she was just tired of him not understanding. She wasn't being a nag. It's just he was violating her space and her needs. This same couple, he would take her out on Christmas parties to his corporate parties, and she would never want to go because he was a social butterfly. She was more introverted. She knew once she stepped out with him that she would be left sitting at a table with strangers because his need is people. He needed to interact with people. With her, she just needed one or two people. Well, they were on their way to divorce, so they thought. When I got through with them, they didn't go to divorce court. So after showing them and allowing them to take this temperament profile, she realized that his needs and wants were different. Her needs and wants were different. They loved each other, but they couldn't find that common ground. They couldn't find that place to be able to compromise so that they did not wind up in divorce court. After speaking with them, she says, well, I'm not compromising because, I don't really need a lot of people. He says, well, I'm not compromising because I need to go out with my friends. Well, I said, well, how about 2 weekends out of the month, you sit home with her, sit on the couch, watch Netflix, eat some popcorn, because remember, that's all she needed. She doesn't need the people. So he was violating her. Then I said, well, then 2 weekends out the month, you go hang out with him and chill and do whatever it is he wants to do. They looked at each other and said, well, that'll work. That's not much to ask. They compromise. They're living a beautiful life now. But look how simple that one thing was that was off in their relationship that was causing them to think, I'm done. You know, every time he went out, she felt he was going out to be with another woman. He thought every time he went out, she didn't care what he did. Look at that. Look at the communication breakdown. After taking the profile and after sitting and sharing, they were willing to compromise. They were willing to compromise. So the compromise is very, very important in the relationship. And if you want a successful marriage or relationship, communicate what you need to feel love. Communicate. Unless your partner can read minds, then you need to tell them with words what you need from them. If you are compromising, then you need the same from them, but they can't give you that until you what? Ladies, I can't hear you. Communicate. Communicate what you need. Number 5, know that you don't have to speak the same love language to have a successful relationship. Please understand that. Please understand we are wired differently. We have different needs, different wants, different goals in life. But if you're in a relationship or you're on your way to a relationship or you're praying for a relationship, please get to know yourself, what you desire, what you need. Build up your communication skills. Men cannot read our minds. Don't sit in a corner with an attitude. Don't sit in the corner being so introverted that you're causing him to have to dig and dig and dig. And the reason why I'm talking to you women, because this is Ladies Let's Chat. Let me keep it moving. We still need to get to the point of compromise, in fact, of how to cope when you and your partner speak different love languages. You may not need to speak the same language to have a great and healthy relationship, but I heard you. But you need to be willing to give a little on your end just as much as they need to give. It's a compromise. I can't say it over and over and over again. It's a compromise. 2 different people coming together, speaking a different love language. He loves cuddling. He loves physical touch. You love words of affirmation. You're trying to give him words of affirmation, which is good sometimes, now and then, but what he needs is physical touch. Again, it does not have to be sexual. It can just be, babe, how you doing today? I know for me, I've been places back in my BC days before Christ, and even now, I'm still human. Somebody will come over and say, oh, hi, Sheila, or hey, how are you? Physical touch, not sexual, right? Words of affirmation is something that I love too. Words of affirmation, you're doing great. I really think this is a good thing that you're doing. That gives me encouragement. Some women don't care nothing about words of affirmation. Some women just want gifts. That gives them that oomph to be all that they need to be to their partner. Listen, know your love language and be able to communicate it, whether you're starting out the gate, looking for a mate, whatever the situation is. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times I have counseled married couples and they do not know each other's love language. Been in the marriage for years, but they're just going on, we just go on, just going with the go on. We've been together around 10 years. So, keep the fire burning. Don't forget, women are emotional. Men are logical. We need emotional connection. And we need to understand, men, I read that part to you about the gentleman who was a cuddler. He just wanted physical touch, and she was about sick of it because she needed words of affirmation, right? She needed gifts, right? That went right over his head. Why? Because the communication line was down. Number 6, accept that love languages may not change. What do you mean they're not going to change? You can't change anybody how they're wired. They're not going to change. So the compromise piece comes in. But the main thing is to be aware of your partner or the person that you're going to meet or the person that you're dating. You have to communicate this, because guess what? If you don't know these little foundational pieces and you're talking about you want to date for a long time and get married, this could corrupt the whole marriage. because people are temperamental and they're fickle, and they'll have something like this to break down the whole marriage because you don't understand me. You don't know what to give me. We're not connecting anymore. Except that love languages may not change. While we can learn to speak the same love language, it doesn't change the fact that our love language is what it is. I said it is what it is. With that in mind, you need to be cognizant of what it takes for both you and your significant other to feel love and adoration. I said you got to do it. If you want to make this thing cohabitating with your partner, if you want to have a good little time in the house when nobody's else around, this COVID thing really showed couples and married people and dating couples, really it showed them if they really like each other because they were stuck with each other. Oh, a whole nother level of domestic violence surfaced. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. A whole nother level of DV surfaced because everything that was built prior to, or what they thought they had built, they saw it was on flimsy ground. It wasn't on a strong foundation. And so they found out, many statistics show that domestic violence rate now is over the roof because COVID forced people to be in each other's space more time than they were bargaining for, more time than they wanted to be in the space with that one person. This is a person you say you love. This is a person you've been with, but you've never been forced to be creative with that person and can't go anywhere because we all know that the world shut down. Not New York, not Charlotte, not Raleigh, not Amsterdam or Curacao. The world shut down. So it showed proof. It has proof to show who could stay with each other. There's divorces now because they found out during COVID, this ain't working. You know why? Because they were like ships in the night passing each other. You go to work, I go to work. You take care of the kids, I take care of the kids. It was like this. So they never had time to really put an assessment on the relationship. So knowing your love language can help build anything inside of a relationship. You can learn, communicate, compromise, and even tweak how you go about things for the sake of each other. What do you need to tweak, my sister and my brother? I'm talking to somebody. What do you need to tweak? What is it that you need to tweak? Oh, yeah. I know I'm talking to somebody. And I'm happy to be here and glad that you're here. Can you hit like right now? Can you subscribe to the channel? And remember to hit that bell and hit personalize so you can hear and see when I'm coming back on live. In closing, if you and your partner speak different love languages, that's not going to change. Nope. Why? I heard you ask me. Because you're wired that way. It's innate. You had nothing to do with it. You're wired that way. It's just how you're wired, right? Realizing this sooner than later will make coping and communicating so much easier. In other words, stop trying to force somebody to be to you always what you need them to be to you. How about being for each other? How about working it out together? There's so many people in relationships that shouldn't be because they're just mismatched. They got together on whatever terms they did. I'm not saying it can't work out, but you got to be willing to put the work in. What else do you have in common? Where's your checklist? People, again, I speak from a Christian point of view right now, and I said it earlier. Sometimes people think when you're in the church and you're dating, right? You're dating this person because that's your husband. Lies they tell, because it has not been proven. It has not been walked out in shoe leather, as I say. Some things you just got to walk out in shoe leather to get to that place. And when you're in the church and people tell you, you better marry him, you got to marry him. You were dating 6 months already, and why aren't you married? When's the wedding date? Suppose the only thing you have in common with that person is you both love Christ. That's a good thing. great foundation. But you're human. What else are you compatible with? Do I like to roller skate? Do you like to ice skate? Do I like to sit on the park and eat a nice sandwich and feed the birds? Do I like to go to the top of high-rise buildings, skyscrapers, and look down? What is it? What is it? It's so important to have a checklist of more than one or two things that you're in likeness with someone you're dating or you want to be with. Sometimes out the gate, you go on a date 2 times and you already know, oh no, and that person turns out being a good friend down the road. But you got to have these signals and not be desperate. Women are desperate. And so you can see one guy coming to church that haven't been there ever. You'll ever have 20 women just turn. 20 women will turn because who's that? Right? Like desperate. Stop being desperate. Because I say, whatever is looking for me, I'm looking for it. Whatever I'm looking for, that thing is looking for me. And it's going to find me. And it's going to find you. Every couple does not speak the same love language. Establish what your love language is. Learn to compromise. Know that you don't have to speak the same love language to have a successful relationship. And accept that love languages may never, ever change. They may never change. So in closing, I want to thank you for being here with me. I am so happy that you decided to stop by today. It is a great day here on Bravo with Sheila. It is awesome. It's awesome to be here and to share with you. I might be changing my time from Tuesdays to Saturdays. I'll see. If you like to sew, I put my Cash App. I got to get used to saying this. Thank you. Thank you for caring. Thank you for sharing. And you can send a donation if you want to. If you don't, just send a prayer up for me. That'll be good, right? And know that when nothing changes, nothing changes. And you must keep it moving. God bless all of you. I'm so glad that you were here today. Thank you for sharing. Please hit subscribe. Please push this to someone that is in need of some encouragement in the love area. Push it to a sister. Have a conversation about it. And keep moving, keep building, keep believing, keep knowing that nothing is impossible. Right? Nothing is impossible with the Lord who is on your side. Listen, my name is Sheila Ingram, and today I spoke to you from the counseling corner, right? As I am a counselor, a professional certified clinical counselor. And so that's one of the favorite things that I like to do. I like to put smiles on people's faces, help people through depression and traumatic experience they might be going through. And today was a light moment, but a serious moment, talking about love languages. And so I want you to, I can't do nothing until we get that Bravo out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Woo. Remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. Shoot me an email at bravowithsheila@gmail.com if you need prayer or you need some more information. Please stay tuned. Again, ring that bell after you hit subscribe so you know when I'm going live again. And I might be switching my live program from Tuesday to Saturday. This Tuesday at 3:00, I will have Alicia Redmond as my special guest, actress, dancer, director. She has just directed a piece that a film, an incredible piece that she's directed. We're going to be talking about breaking the ceiling and pushing that past your fears to push into the very thing that you've been called to do. You do not want to miss this interview with me and Alicia Redmond on this Tuesday. I think that is November 2nd at 3 p.m. on Bravo with Sheila on YouTube and on Facebook. Stay tuned. I have 6 or 7 interviews lined up for you guys that I feel they will bless you with the information we're going to be chatting about here on this platform. Thank you once again for being here. Remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. Take that right hand, that left hand, put it on your heart, your mind, and your soul. If you need all three places, do what you got to do to encourage yourself, and you do not need permission. I said you do not need permission.